And Lulu, too.
And Lulu. And I forget what you did on the film, Lulu?
We edited it together.
The editor. Okay, great. Thank you both so much for being here. And I guess just can you tell us how you met these characters?
Yeah, I was really originally interested in making a film about homelessness. It's like just a massive topic in Seattle. It's obviously large in Los Angeles as well. But people in Seattle really seem to just hate homeless people. And that was kind of the beginning of the film. And I went around for about a month and all my free time, and I just started talking to people, trying to hear people's stories, taking people for coffee. And I ended up meeting Skye one day, just at random, and I really liked him right away. And we decided to get a coffee the next day, and he texted me right before. He said he was bringing his bodyguard, and it ended up being Big Jake. And I don't know, I felt an immediate connection with them, and we started hanging out a little bit, and I told them of my desire to make a film, and I decided to make a portrait of them, sort of as, I guess, a very particular instance of what is, deemed to be a problem. So that was the beginning.
Yeah. And so was Skye homeless?
Both of them had been homeless, and neither of them were at the time. Both of them had housing. So it ended up not being a film about homelessness, but I think some people who I've shown it to have read it as that, and I think it's somehow resonant with the issue and their overlapping issues of mental health and drug addiction. So, yeah.
Yeah, so there seems to be such they seem, I guess, both very comfortable and maybe even to have a need to be seen by you in this film. And what did you pick up about their willingness to be seen on such an intimate level?
I mean, yeah, I think that generally there's a really fierce isolation. I mean, not generally. They both live in a very fierce isolation, and had no friends who were sober and nobody in their lives who were sober. Everybody around them was a drug addict, and there was just there was no way to operate outside of the way in which they operated, and their friendship was very complicated, and I think that friendships are really hard to have in that environment, and I think that they really felt. I think we all felt sort of a mutual understanding. I mean, I love them a lot, and I think they loved me too. And Skye and I have a special relationship. So I don't know, but there is like they're almost banned, in a sense, banned from society, and they feel that. And the last conversation I had with Big Jake, we talked on the phone like a month before he died, and I'd already moved down to Los Angeles, and he said, no matter what, don't cut me out of the film. Even if I'm crying, don't cut me out of the film. So I don't know. I think it was meaningful for them. I don't know if.
I don't really have anything to add, but I think both of them are in a position, like in a corner where nobody listens to them. Like I do the same thing. I walk Los Angeles streets, and somebody comes at you and acts crazy, and you just don't look at them, you don't listen. So I think that was a very special thing that Max did.
And I think, again, to reiterate that, they really had no one. I mean, there's not a single person that listened to it. And I think like it's a social film, and it's also not a social film in the sense it doesn't really prescribe much. But I think you can sense the isolation, and I wonder, what if things would be different if if there was somebody listening to them, and if if there was some meaningful relationship between them and some outside person, and what social, how social work is going there, and Skye's relationship with his social worker, which clearly was not good. I witnessed her fail him repeatedly. So yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the style of the film is very bold, and a lot of it is just being willing to stay on these very long takes. And so how did you think about that, Lulu, as you were cutting the film?
Well, we did it together. I didn't do it alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's always a risk, of course, that you lose your audience. But we were like, there was no other way. And I think all the long takes are very important. We had a lot of conversations about it, obviously, but I think it's all important.
Let's open it up to the audience. Questions? Yeah.
Incredible, powerful movie. I was wondering, I got to know you a little bit, and over the past couple of days, you're a very good person and everything. How do you balance your kind of desire to make a film with your developing friendship and kind of need to help, or instinct to help? What's your difference?
Yeah, it was complicated. I think the filmmaking aspect of the time I spent with them was probably like a third of the time I spent with them. I spent a lot of time with them. I definitely intervened when I could, and I tried to set Skye up with therapy appointments, and I tried to keep him accountable to go, and I took him to those appointments, and I signed us up for a comedy class, actually, because Skye wants to become a comedian. And we got kicked out of the comedy class after 2 weeks, but it was a good try. But yeah, it was a tender relationship, and something I was navigating constantly. But I couldn't. Yeah, I did not stand by. I definitely had a hand in things.
Hi, congratulations. It's a very touching film. I was wondering, as a director, how do you recover yourself the experience in this? Because we are seeing these characters like struggling themselves, but you asked for help after making the film. How do you do this?
I mean, we took time before we edited it, and I think I needed space. It took like 8 or 10 months before we opened, after I opened the project, after I stopped shooting. It was really intense, but I'm very lucky we just got married, actually, but we have a lot of love in this household, so it's good. It's good for. It was good for me.
Who else has a question? Yes.
Congratulations on your work, and thanks for sharing it with us. I'm curious, when you pivoted from homelessness to addiction, did you research anything about addiction, talking with sober addicts or drug addicts, and sort of see other parts of that world?
Kind of. Yeah, as I said, I talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people that I spoke with just in that first month of sort of, exploring, had issues with drug addiction, and but I did not. It's a film about addiction, but it's really, in my opinion, it's a film about these two people, sort of at the center of something in a certain time. And so no, I didn't, and I still haven't, and it's something I should probably do, is go and try to talk to more people, and probably be a way to get the movie out too. But but yeah, I think the film also as well is just it's a lot about mental health and the interrelation between mental health and drug addiction, and mental health I feel more knowledgeable about.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for sharing Skye and Jake's story. Are you still in contact at all with Skye? Do you know what he's up to or is?
Yeah, so there's Skye has a hard time holding on to phones, and there are ways to get free phones in Seattle, and he ends up usually selling them after a week or something. So we're in touch in little spurts, but we were just up in Seattle for Mother's Day, and I know where to find him. So we found him, and we showed him the movie actually, which was a positive experience. He actually really loved the film. So yeah, and cried a lot and laughed a lot. It was yeah, but yeah, it's hard to keep a constant communication. No, and when you talk to people around, I think some people, I don't know. I think the movie too is so full of contradiction, and I think it's something we did very intentionally, and I think from the people who I've talked to who have recovered or who try to recover, everybody has I hear a lot of different theories, and I'd say that the two binaries are like two sides of the spectrum. Or when you have the one moment when you can go, that's your only opportunity, and there's another which is like it's not about that at all. It's about a general readiness. If it really was, in my opinion, his social worker's fault in those instances in the movie, and it was a really maddening experience. And who knows what would have happened, because at the end of the day, if you go and you're driven, 5 hours away from the city and you're stuck there and you're in a program, then who knows how you come out the other side. You could come back, and but that's also the really tough thing, is that there's nobody in his life that's not struggling with addiction. So you come back, and if you come back, you have to take a leap of faith and abandon everything that you have, which is like your friendships and your relationships and the people you know.
Yeah, which is also close to impossible, because the housing they've been set up with is, if you go there, there's nobody who's not struggling with addiction. So there's really no place to go.
And it's also a very traumatizing place that they live in, because so many people died in the period that I was shooting the film, and even seeing Skye. A lot of people died that I knew in the last few months since I had seen him last, and it's really intense. It's really intense, and it's amazing that Skye and Jake had housing, but it was also really. It was a hardcore place to live, I think.
We'll come back to you.
Well, formally, I really appreciated the simplicity of the titles for the interstitials and the music that kind of filled you in on those moments. But I'm curious, you probably weren't about to film the social worker. Did you have any moments with her or whoever they were that didn't?
I actually was almost allowed to film the social worker. It didn't work out. Yeah, I mean, I had to be careful, and I think I think making a documentary, it's our first film, and there are all sorts of curses that find you and all sorts of lucks that find you. And one lucky thing is that her name is never mentioned in the moments where that we wanted to use in the film, and that's incredibly lucky, because I think obviously you can try to bleep it out and remove it, but yeah, I don't think it's cool to call her out by name. I think that's fast track to a lawsuit. Yeah, I filmed over like 6 months. Yeah, winter of like to start in December 23 and into May of 24.
One of the most powerful scenes is the scene with Jake and Skye in the room together sharing their childhood experiences. And like in a lot of the film, this is depicted through these very long takes where you're really with the character. How did you just tell us a bit about how in that particular scene, how you managed to sort of capture them both sharing these things across each other in this way?
He just spent hours sitting in that apartment. Hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in there. I don't know. I think again, there's an amount of luck, and I think there's an amount of jazz as well because, I shot a lot of footage, and you're just, I think you turn the camera on and you're hanging on, and that's all you can do. Is try to roll with it. It was all me, and the sound was a little. I think it was probably I don't know if it was the export or something, but the sound was a little chunky as well. I'm sorry about that. If you see it again, we'll make sure the sound's a little not so intense. But it's just me.
You were on the street a lot, like facing Skye as he was walking. How were you walking backwards, or did you have?
Yeah, I was walking backwards.
Where was the things that happened? You were able to do that?
My very best friend since I was 4 years old is here in the audience, and we actually were both training for a marathon at the time, and we ran it together, and it helped. I think I felt very nimble and light. Thanks.
You mentioned, you did a lot of shooting. I'm curious, do you have an idea of how many total hours you might have shot that you used for the editing?
55? Yeah, 55-ish.
Still a lot.
Yes, I mean, I think some documentaries you can get into the hundreds of thousands, so we were lucky, I guess. I was conservative. I didn't have big enough hard drives.
So did you meet after shooting, or were you already together? Or?
Yeah, it's complicated, Paul. You're asking personal questions.
I definitely want to know. I'm just curious.
I was in Berlin.
Oh, you were in Berlin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So were you ever kind of having the experience of him coming back from the shoot, or were you involved at the time?
Yeah, I mean, when I think not so much in the beginning, maybe. I have long voice notes on my phone, like 20-minute voice notes, max, coming back home and then having to tell somebody. But I think later then I was also in Seattle. And that was every day an emergency, I think. That was really intense.
Oh, you were going to the emergency as well?
No.
Oh, you were in the emergency.
It was hardcore. It was sometimes really hardcore, and I had to vent a little bit. But yeah, we were together. I'd been living in Berlin actually, and we were together, and then we were in a long distance relationship, and now she's here. But over the time, we were kind of very long distancey.
Yeah. Well, we'll get all the dirty details offline.
Don't put this on YouTube. It's a secret.
Anyone else? Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask you about the editing process because I was curious about how you found the story within 35 hours of shooting. Was there like a super long editing time? How did you figure out that was better?
It was astonishingly easy, I would say. We had, I think we kind of found what would work pretty quickly, and then we had scenes chronologically, actually, like in how it actually happened. And we had, I think our first cut was 4 hours, and then we boiled it down to 2.5, or what was it?
Yeah.
Something like that. It kind of, it was in the material, I think. There was not much room to play with.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot going on in the 55 hours, and I think we're lucky. We both felt, I think, a certain resonance with certain moments, and then we were able to really hone in on those moments, bring them down into scenes, and then we pretty much just tossed some note cards around with all the scene titles that we named, and then we kind of, that was kind of it.
Nice. So, are you going to continue to work together on films? And do you have another project?
I think we will.
Yes.
She said yes.
I think, we're very much at the beginning of starting to think about a project about our agricultural system and monoculture in particular, and the very, very complicated nature of our food system. I haven't seen a documentary that is comprehensive in the sense that it takes economic and financial and political matters and perspectives of farmers and people and deforestation and climate change. So I'd like to make a massive, massive film, if possible. Nice.
Well, such a special film. Thank you so much for premiering it here at Mammoth Lakes, and thanks for coming up and being with us.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you guys for coming. It's really meaningful to show it. Thank you.